Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we can't tell our scorpions from our Sonias. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you.
Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
It's going great. I had my annual physical with my doctor.
Yes.
This just a couple of days ago, and in maybe the week leading up to it.
Yes.
First of all, I have to.
Were you stressing yourself out?
I wasn't stressing myself
Okay.
out. I was and I don't think this is how it works. So I don't think I actually gamed the system.
Uh-huh.
But in the week leading up to it, I was trying to eat so healthy
Right.
because I was like, I know I'm going to get that blood work.
Right. It's like how the week before you go to the dentist, you start flossing.
Exactly.
Right.
So I was like, oh, do you know what? I think I will choose the salad over the French fries.
Wow.
You know, for a week leading up to it. And then the moment I got that blood drawn on the way home, I was getting, 20 piece of chicken nuggets. I was just destroying my body.
What-
I was making up for lost time. You know what I mean?
But this is backwards, though. You should be treating yourself as bad as possible so that they can catch whatever's going on. You don't get anything out of tricking your doctor.
I hadn't thought about it that way. I really hadn't.
You're not getting graded. It's not an assignment,
Uh-huh.
right?
Right. But also,
Yeah.
does trying to eat healthy for 1 week really make a difference?
Mm.
Or are they just going to know that my main source of vitamins
Uh-huh.
is enriched Captain Crunch? You know what I mean?
I think they know. I think they can tell. Yeah, no, I don't think eating right for 1 week does.
It's not going to tip the scales.
It's not gonna tip the scales. That's right. No, it turns out that in order to be healthy, you have to eat right and exercise all the time.
Interesting.
Which,
Something to consider for next year.
yeah, something to consider for the next lifetime. Mark, speaking of the next lifetime, our Patreon. I don't know what the connection there is. Normally, I can make these transitions and I feel confident enough in what they are that I'm like, yeah, that was good, or that was good enough. I don't think that was good enough.
I think you could have breezed right by it and nobody would have given it a second thought.
Here's the thing. I was already thinking about it. And everyone could hear it in my voice. Patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society. You can go there and sign up for the Patreon. If you do so at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, you will get access to our monthly episodes of miniseries. We have one coming out on Friday about the Music Man, because we're doing NCS Goes Broadway right now.
That's right. And we did NCS Detective Club in the past. We will have a new one coming up in the future that if you're a member of the Patreon on any level, you can vote on. Thank you so much to all of our patrons, and thank you to everybody who listens to the show.
Yes. And thank you to everyone who just listens to the Music Man and has some idle thoughts about it. If you want to hear our idle thoughts, again, going up on Friday. It's a great episode. I'm very excited about it. Very excited for it to get out in the wild, Mark. The other thing, of course, is that you can join our Discord. Email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and we will send you an invitation. You can hop in there. People are talking about Nintendo all the time. Everyone is friendly and interested and interesting. So get in there, do that, have a great time. Mark, you want to talk about Mortal Kombat with me?
Let's do it.
Recently, Mortal Kombat in the news in the Nintendo universe because the port of the new Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 1, is no good. It's a buggy mess. It looks bad. Is slow. Have you seen any video footage of these loading screens?
No, I haven't seen the loading
So
screens.
the way the character select works is that when you select both combatants, they're full size images of the fighters, and they're kind of up against each other, pushing their forearms against each other. And normally on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, they do that for 4 seconds, and then it's the camera zooms out and they are like in the field of battle and ready to fight. And on the Switch version, it's like 40 seconds of them just
Okay.
like pushing their forearms together
Yeah,
and kind of
jostling,
snarling at each other.
It's really, I've just got to say, it's really funny to me that this is that like this seems like the Mortal Kombat 1 equivalent of the weigh-in before a boxing match.
Yes.
Right, where they're like
Right.
where the two fighters are facing off against each other.
Right.
Which, as someone who doesn't care about boxing, is such a hilarious.
You like the weigh-in?
I think it is funny that it exists and is taken seriously as like a thing.
Right. Do they have to get weighed at the same time?
No, I don't think so. I think in a traditional weigh-in,
Yeah.
there is one scale and
Right.
they take turns being weighed on it, and then they're like glowering at each other the whole time. It's just a mentality that like I don't have.
So they just have to like they do that because they have to agree on one specific scale, right? That they're like, we both weigh in on this scale to make sure that we're the right weight class to do this. We don't know a lot about Mortal Kombat. We probably know less about boxing.
But
But
I think probably.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, we're both using the same scale.
right. If we
So
both
there's
are
no trickery.
That's right. No trickery. Because sometimes those guys, they bring their own scales.
They probably have a volunteer from the audience, like a magician, and be like, have we ever met before? And they're like, no. And then they ask them to walk all the way around the scale.
right.
you know?
To prove that there's nothing funny going on.
Yep, no wires, nothing like that.
But yeah, no, in Mortal Kombat 1, it's just like glowering at each other and pushing forearms into each other.
Very nice.
But so, okay, that got me thinking about Mortal Kombat and my history with the series. And I don't really know if you have much of a history with the series. But I kind of wanted to, two things I want to do. One is I wanted to talk about what we do know about Mortal Kombat. And then, like we did once upon a time with Pokemon, we're going to just randomly select Mortal Kombat characters and see if we can guess what they are.
There are a shocking
Yes.
amount of Mortal Kombat characters.
A lot of Mortal Kombat characters. 77 playable Mortal Kombat characters. And this is before we get into, like the Terminator or whatever guest characters. No guest characters on this list. We're just talking about Mortal Kombat characters. And I do think there's probably like 20 Mortal Kombat characters that I do know and that I like. But I think I may have a deeper history with the series, but I'd like to hear what your history with Mortal Kombat is.
Yeah, I have played the Mortal Kombat games for a couple hours total in my life. When the original Mortal Kombat came out, and especially when it started getting home ports to home consoles, it was in the news a lot for how violent the games were for the time, and now you look back on it and they seem quaint.
Well,
but
yes, and I mean those old games for sure. A modern Mortal Kombat game is a thing that makes me squeamish and go, maybe we shouldn't have violence in video games.
But it's funny to me though that like in a video game trailer now, like for movies, there's a red band trailer where they because it's not for general audiences. For video games, I don't think like something like that exists. For whatever reason, you can just show.
You can just show whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Well, I mean, it's also just like how video game trailers are distributed. It's all you opting into clicking on a link.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Yeah.
It's not you're never gonna go see Bo Was Afraid and there's a trailer for Mortal Kombat 1 before it. Like that doesn't really happen.
So yeah, so it was in the news a lot, but I growing up, we were not allowed to watch the Rugrats because Angelica was too mean. And so Mortal Kombat was not something
Right.
That, I didn't have buying power.
Yes. Right.
I was a kid.
Right.
And so I was like 7 when Mortal Kombat 2 came out. And so so there was no chance that I was ever going to own a copy of Mortal Kombat. So I would play it when I went to friend's house, primarily like the Genesis version. If like going to a birthday party or something and spending time in arcades, then I would have an opportunity to like see it or play it there. But I knew it mostly by reputation.
It sounds like you are, if you're familiar with the Mortal Kombat games, you're familiar with probably 1, 2, and 3 possibly 3.
Yeah, and like the
before they went
characters
3D. Yeah,
oh yeah, totally.
characters with the K, of course.
Characters from that era of the series for sure. I mean, a few years ago, we did an episode with special guest Colin J. Morris where
Yes.
we watched the original Mortal Kombat movie from the mid to late 90s, and those are like the characters that I'm familiar with.
Right, which is maybe 10.
Exactly.
Maybe 10 characters.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm definitely a little bit more embedded with the Mortal Kombat, or at least was when I was a lad. I'm a little bit older than you, so I was probably like 9 or 10 when Mortal Kombat 2 came out. I remember getting the original Mortal Kombat on Super NES. Not being probably secretly being bummed that there was no blood and the fatalities were toned down, but also trying to be like, yeah, but it's so detailed. You see their sweat, which was definitely like a Nintendo talking point that was fed to me directly through Nintendo Power. But there's one of the fatalities that I think is genuinely better in the Super NES version. So Sub-Zero in the arcade, and then of course on the Genesis version as well, one of his fatalities is that he grabs his opponent's head and rips the head off the body, and the spine is dangling from the body. It's that happens in Predator 2. So like I'm sure like that's the sort of like touch point of like rip someone's head off, the spine out of their body, right? And I know that is something that repeats in future Mortal Kombat games. In the Super NES version, he does like a big freezing thing, like the normal like freeze attack, but it's just like bigger, and the person is like more icically, and then he like jumps up next to him and just like backhands them and they shatter, which is so much funnier and so much it's less like graphic, but it is, I don't know, it feels more like the kind of goofy violence that I want in these games. But so I also did not have much buying power because I didn't have much money when I was a child. But I was crazy about Mortal Kombat 2, crazy about it. Like played it in the arcades, and my dad surprised me by buying it. It was like a random, like not a thing that my dad would regularly do, but he just like one day came home and was like, "Here's Mortal Kombat 2."
Wow,
isn't that great?
Yeah,
it was just like a nice surprise from Dad. So I love that game. Mortal Kombat 3 I was sort of like out on. I wasn't really paying attention to it then, but I did really get into the Mortal Kombat trilogy on Nintendo 64, which just combined like the rosters from those first 3 games, including like bosses and like some other like hidden stuff. So I've at least been exposed to, I don't know, maybe like 35, 40 Mortal Kombat characters. And I'm always interested in this series, right? Like there's something about I don't know, do you have this like thing where like it feels interesting to you but like is impenetrable in some way?
The thing I like about Mortal Kombat is I get a kick out of really overly complex mythologies.
Yeah, we got some of that here.
And Mortal Kombat seems like it has that in spades.
It definitely does. There's also this like element of like design first, right? Where like all these characters need, it's a fighting game, right? But like they always do so much, sometimes with very little, where it's just like these characters are just like color swaps, but they've got like a different backstories, and like the colors are vibrant enough or discreet enough that like they feel like different people. And that kind of designy thing like always appeals to me. It's part of why I like Street Fighter as much as I do. It's part of like 16-bit RPGs that I like so much. It's just like seeing these different sprites for these different little dudes, and I'm like, those are my little dudes. I always feel that way about Mortal Kombat.
I will say my most recent experience with Mortal Kombat was, what was the game before 1? Was that X?
That was 11.
11. Yeah. So I was visiting my family last year and playing Mortal Kombat 11 against my nephew, who was like 7 years old, and he beat me. He plays this game a lot, and so he beat me like so thoroughly, round after round after round. And then the one time that I beat him, he cried. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's tough. You can only beat up on Uncle Mark for so long before he's going to destroy you in Mortal Kombat.
No, Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, he was legitimately beating me. Like,
Right.
it wasn't like I wasn't trying.
Okay. Did you apologize?
No. Maybe I should have.
Maybe you should have. All right. So going into this, before we start trying to guess what these characters are based solely on their names,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite Mortal Kombat character?
I don't. I've got to be honest. I don't have a favorite Mortal Kombat character.
I wish you would lie to me and tell me a character. I'll tell you my favorite Mortal Kombat character. I think it's the same as Ed Boon's favorite Mortal Kombat character. I like Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very simple thing, right? He's like a skeleton man who wears a ninja costume, teleports around, throws a spear, and yells at you to get over here.
Simple pleasures, right?
Life's simple pleasures. I like Scorpion. And if there ever were to be a Mortal Kombat character in Smash Brothers, I would say gotta be Scorpion, right? Maybe Liu Kang.
Yeah, maybe Liu Kang. But Scorpion, Scorpion, I feel like he wears the, like, ninja outfit
Yeah.
that I feel like I associate with Mortal Kombat.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he's just more easily recognizable instead of like, it's just a dude with a shirt on, you know?
I do like Goro. Goro's the four-armed one, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
like
right.
Goro.
He's one of the four-armed ones, Mark. Would it surprise you to learn there are a bunch of them in here?
I'm excited to find out. I wonder if just by the names alone I'll be able to sniff out the four-armed ones.
Ooh, I think maybe you will, because I think a lot of them have that Oro at the end of them. But I could be wrong. What do I know about
Are they
Mortal
like
Kombat?
Huey, Dewey, and Louie, where it's
that's
like
right.
Oro, Goro, and Boro?
Yeah, Boro has four arms. Yeah, and then Webbigail doesn't get in on that naming convention.
No.
Webby.
Webby.
Although Webbigail as being long for Webby is pretty good. All right, Mark. Should we do a random number and talk about one of these characters?
I think this will be good because I feel like coming out of this, you know, one of the goals
Mhm.
in one of the things, maybe not even a goal, just things we have discovered from doing the show is we've picked up a lot of knowledge about different things.
Oh, okay.
You know, we learned a lot about Game & Watch. We learned
Mhm.
a lot about Kirby and a lot about Kid Icarus during
Yep.
Kid Icarus
We
month.
learned so much about Kid Icarus.
And now it's an opportunity to educate ourselves a little bit about Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat 1's a big hit. We are derelict in our duty if we're not like spending some time learning about Mortal Kombat by guessing about Mortal Kombat. Mark, I'm going to do the first randomly generated number between 1 and 77, and we will consult against our alphabetically organized list. The first character we are discussing is number 29.
That is Kai. Kai.
Do you have any thoughts about who Kai from Mortal Kombat is?
I think that
Not a lot of clues here.
not
to go
a lot.
on.
Yeah, not a lot to go on. I think Kai is. Well, first of all, do you know Kai?
I
off
do
the top
not.
of your
I do
head?
not know Kai.
Okay, so I am gonna guess that Kai is a human character
Okay.
that I'm basing this off of like Cobra Kai. So I think
Oh.
I think this is like a.
Do you think we have like a classic ninja here?
I think we have like a classic trained martial artist.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. Kai makes me think of Sai, Raphael's weapon in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is a defensive weapon, right? So maybe someone who's a little bit more defense based. Kai is not a lot to go on. It's 3 letters.
Yeah. Human
though.
Human.
Yeah.
Male or female? I'm gonna guess male.
I'm gonna guess female.
Okay. Younger, old.
Younger.
I think younger too.
Kai also just like as a name feels like a millennial name, right?
Absolutely. Also has kind of like that Kyle thing going for it.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I knew 2 different twins growing up named Kyle. Is that weird? They're obviously not twins with each other.
Kyle was a popular name
Okay, yeah.
in
yeah,
our
yeah.
youth, so maybe not too crazy.
I'm just saying I knew a Kevin and Kyle, and I knew a Quincy and Kyle.
Those are both good, like, twin pair names.
Yeah, I think Quincy and Kyle is better because they don't actually start with the same letter.
Yeah, and Quincy's just a good name.
Quincy's a fantastic name. And also went to the It's not always true that like in a pair of twins, there's like one twin that's like the golden child and the other one is like a little bit the screw up. But like it was true in both of these cases. And Quincy was the golden child twin.
Okay.
You don't have to weigh in on this if you don't want to.
I don't know that. I don't know that many twins in my life in order to make a true statement.
Let's look up Kai.
Okay, so we think it's a male human that is younger and is like
martial artist in some way. So male, you're correct. He's a human. That's correct. From Earthrealm. Good. Something that we should be noting. Earthrealm or Netherrealm. We should be noting that in the future. He's from Detroit.
Okay.
We've got a man of color here, which Mortal Kombat's always good about having diverse characters.
He's a Shaolin monk.
Okay.
And a skilled martial artist with the ability to use fire in battle.
Okay, so we didn't catch the fire part of it.
No, but that's something that we will need to note for characters in the future. Is like, what is their special thing?
Yes,
like
good.
Their like element
I like this.
almost.
I like this.
Yeah, but otherwise, we kind of knocked this out of the park.
I mean, I was leading into like a defensive play, and I don't think there's anything here to suggest.
Well, a Shaolin monk, I feel like, kind of implies a certain amount of.
But like Liu Kang is a Shaolin monk, right? Like
right.
I think Shaolin monk is a broad umbrella for these games, right?
Right.
But okay, yeah, I think we got it. Do you, looking at him, do you like Kai?
I do like Kai.
I think he's cool. He's originally a Mortal Kombat 4 character.
Oh.
Which is obviously after the original trilogy. Is he in other games? Yes, he's in Mortal Kombat. Oh, you know what? It's not really until Armageddon that he comes back. He's not in the current Mortal Kombat game. So this is, Mark, we started with a deep cut, okay? Not just for us.
Maybe I'm giving ourselves too much credit on the first one. But for a deep cut, I think we did pretty good.
Okay, you know how in the first Mortal Kombat there were these mini games called Test Your Might, where you would have to like jam on the button as fast as you could so they could like chop through a cinder block or something?
It.
We should apply that for this, but we call it Test Our Right. So how right were we?
Sure.
Okay.
What are we?
Let's go scale of 1 to 5.
Cinder blocks, 1 to 5 cinder blocks.
Yeah.
I would give us a solid 3 cinder blocks.
3 cinder blocks for how right we were on Kai.
I love it.
All right.
Very good.
Very good. All right. The next character I'm going to select between 1 and 76. Character number 53.
53 is
Quan
Chi.
Quan Chi. So I think I know who Quan Chi is.
Okay.
And I think he's a god.
Okay.
Like Raiden, right? I think he's like a bald dude. Like he's a little Kratos looking, right? And has like some kind of face paint. And is like a villain of some kind. Maybe he's not a god. Maybe he's like a sorcerer. There's something magical or otherworldly about him, but I don't think he's like from the Netherrealm.
Okay. So, believe it's a he, believe it's a god, believe it's not from the Netherrealm.
Right.
But
and maybe not from Earth either, but who knows.
Okay. Here we go. Quan Chi is bald.
Okay, nailed it.
Okay, do you know what Quan Chi kind of looks like? Is the villain, like the high priest villain in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. Does that make him a wizard or a god of some kind?
He's a sorcerer and a necromancer.
Okay, all right.
In the Netherrealm.
Okay.
And a primary villain in the Mortal Kombat series.
Okay, so I think I was I had him crossed in my head with somebody else because a sorcerer. I'll give myself partial credit on that, but I was really leading with I thought he was a god.
Oh, okay, and he's also pretty young. Like in the spectrum of old to young, I would say young.
Sure, but I mean, how can you tell with magic?
That's
right?
true. That's true. He might be hundreds or thousands of years old,
We also
but just has like the
yeah.
presence of a young person.
We also should have discussed what we thought his like powers were based in. Because I would have been so far away from necromancy, I would have guessed some sort of like elemental thing.
So I'm gonna say, out of in testing our right,
Yeah,
that we were
test your right. I think we're two on this.
cinder
Yeah,
blocks?
two cinder blocks in this one. Quan Chi made his debut in the animated series Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. And his first video game appearance is in Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero, which was that like that it's not a fighting game, it's like an adventure game where you play as Sub-Zero.
Another deep cut.
Another deep cut, although he is in Mortal Kombat, the reboot in 2011. He's in Mortal Kombat X. He's in Mortal Kombat 11, but not a playable character, and he will be DLC in Mortal Kombat 1. So a deep cut who is not a deep cut to people who play the series now, I guess.
I feel like okay. Additionally, we should guess what their fatality is.
Ooh, does this do we have? Oh, well, let's guess. He's a necromancer, right?
Right.
So maybe he like makes skeletons rise up out of the ground and like pull you down into the earth, Evil Dead style.
Yeah, and maybe they like rip them apart. Because I mean, I imagine it has to be like insanely violent. Like, how does it?
Yeah, of course.
So maybe they rip the opponent like limb from limb as they pull them into the earth.
Let's see. He has a lot of fatalities listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fatalities listed here. We are, of course, on the Mortal Kombat fandom wiki right now. Both ends. He's got he opens up 2 portals, one on the left leg, one on the right, before pushing the opponent into the portal and grabbing their leg. Quickly catches the opponent's arm through the other portal. As the opponent screams in fear, Quan Chi closes both portals, snapping the opponent's body in half.
Seems like he has a couple that like bisect a person.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of just a Mortal Kombat thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he has an Evil Dead style skeletons rip you apart.
Doesn't sound like it.
It's too bad. Kind of a crappy necromancer, I'd say.
So Quan Chi, 2 cinder blocks.
2 cinder blocks.
And testing our right.
But that's on us.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not his
that's
failing.
Right. No, that's not his failing.
All right, let's do another one of these. Between 1 and 75, the new character is number 25.
25 is Jarek. Jarek, I'm going to guess another human.
Uh-huh.
Another male.
Uh-huh.
And what is Jarek's thing going to be?
So here, Jarek, spelled Jarek. That reads like a robot to me. Because I know there are robots in these games. A cyborg, if you will. I'm going to say Jarek is a robot.
So Jarek is kind of like the Terminator?
I mean, there
is the literal Terminator.
Right, but not on this list.
But so do you think that Jarek is like a Terminator ripoff, essentially?
No, I think he's like a ninja robot.
Got it.
There are robot ninjas that start to appear in Mortal Kombat 3. I think he's in that same vein.
Okay.
That's my guess.
So, in this case, not human, robot.
Uh-huh. From Earthrealm.
From Earthrealm.
Sure.
And his like special ability or power or element will be electricity?
Sure. Okay, electric robot who he doesn't necessarily need to be like a ninja robot. I don't think that necessarily needs to be the case.
But he has to have some sort of defining thing.
Right. Like what was he built for? Was he built for murdering people? Or is he like Wall-E, who just like stumbled into murdering people?
Yeah, I feel like he was probably built, or if not built for it, he like found his purpose in murdering people.
I see.
And he has electricity. So I think his fatality, one of his fatalities anyways, is he calls down, well, no, he doesn't have like lightning power. Maybe he just like sizzles people.
Yeah, what if like he pulls out like a little switchblade, or like his hand turns into a blade and he stabs you twice to make like an outlet.
Oh, and then
in
plugs
your belly,
you,
and
like
then plugs
socket.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
That's who we think Jarek is. Here we go. Looking up Jarek. Gonna find out how wrong we've been.
Okay, Jarek is young, brutish-looking man in his 30s. He has short black hair and a military crew cut
Okay.
and a prominent widow's peak.
Not a robot.
Um,
Is a human being from Earthrealm. Is another Mortal Kombat 4 character.
Interesting. Doesn't really have a lot going on. Okay, here we go. Fatalities.
Yeah.
Through no visible means. So I don't really think Jarek has a thing. So, but through no visible means, Jarek shoots a laser beam out of his eyes, which tears the opponent to shreds. And then he also, in Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat G, what is
Mortal Kombat Gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
He also will rip an opponent's heart out.
Interesting. So I think we've fallen on a genuinely deep cut character here, because he has a cameo in Mortal Kombat 11, is not in the new game, is not in Mortal Kombat X, is not in Mortal Kombat 9. So I think this is a deep cut guy. This is one of those early 3D era Mortal Kombat characters who they don't bring back.
Yeah, Jarek's a dud. I mean, there's no getting around it. Jarek's a dud. He doesn't have a thing. Yes, he shoots lasers from his eyes, but it's not like he's a mutant.
Right. He's not Cyclops.
Nope.
By the way, I know those aren't lasers. Those are optic blasts. They're not hot. They're concussive. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. I didn't know that.
They're not hot.
Yeah.
They're not lasers.
That stinks. So if you get...
he can't cook a hot dog for you.
But if you get cut... Well, disappointing. But if you get cut in half by his optic blasts, then it's not going to be cauterized. It's not like a lightsaber.
No, it's not like a lightsaber. I also think he doesn't cut people in half. I think he would just
Oh, you get blown away. You'd be
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, like a bomb went off or something.
That's right.
I see.
Jarek also has a heart rip out fatality, which the wiki says borrowed from Kano. Actually, the other the eye laser fatality is also borrowed from Kano. He doesn't even have his own fatalities, this guy.
I'm sorry, Jarek sucks.
Jarek sucks, and we pitched kind of a cool robot who does a Bugs Bunny electrocution thing. I mean, I think we get a 1.
We get a 1, but it's Jarek's fault.
Yeah, this one, look, the last one was not Quan Chi's fault. This one, absolutely Jarek's fault. Shall I pick another character here, Mark?
Yeah.
Between 1 and 74, we're going with character number 13.
13 is Draman.
Man, I did not think that I was going to not know these characters this much, but I don't think I've ever even heard of Draman.
Okay, I think...
I'm going to let you lead the way here because I led the way on the last two, and we did poorly.
So I think that this is another human male.
Uh-huh.
And I think Draman... What is the name of the Street Fighter character?
Dalsim?
Is it Dalsim? Who are
you thinking of?
I don't know. Maybe it is Dalsim. Let me oh yes. I was thinking of Dalsim, and that is who I think Draman is basically the Mortal Kombat ripoff version of Dalsim.
Sure. So that makes sense. So maybe Indian, a yoga master or something like that.
Yep.
Human from Earthrealm. You're guessing. What's driving that thought? Is it just the H in the middle of a D name?
Maybe.
Okay, I have upsetting news for you.
Okay. Is it a cyborg that does a Bugs Bunny type fatality?
It is not. I mean, maybe we'll look up fatalities in a second here. But do you have an elemental kind of or powers?
I'm gonna say earthquakes type stuff.
Sure, earthquakes type stuff. Look this guy up. He is a dang freak from Outworld.
Whoa!
Yeah, his species is listed as Oni, so he's a demon. We've reached our first demon. One of his arms is a iron club, and he wears an Oni mask, and maybe has no skin.
Oh my gosh! Wait, he's kind of like a Pinhead type character.
He's like a Cenobite. Yeah,
he's like a Cenobite because Draman was not always a demon. As centuries ago, he was a cruel human warlord in Outworld. For his crimes, he died and was exiled to the Netherrealm, where his body and soul were to be tortured for all eternity.
Man, that's intense. Again, just want to point out here, this is a character from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Does not appear as a playable character in any of the recent games. He's got a cameo in the Mortal Kombat X comic series, and in the Mortal Kombat X mobile game, and he's got a cameo in Mortal Kombat 11. So again, the random number generator kind of screwing us here.
I think really what this is revealing, and one thing that
We don't know anything about Mortal Kombat.
and also, Mortal Kombat has a lot of crappy characters.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this is a crappy character? I find him upsetting.
He is upsetting. It's
Everyone go look him up right now. Drahmin.
And he has no skin.
He has no skin.
Yeah, so you're just looking at his muscle, and he has no like elemental power. His power, like his fatality, is just smashing people to pieces with his big club arm thing.
Yeah, smashes his opponent's head to pieces, causing the headless body to wander around for a few seconds before Drummond smashes the body to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lots of smashing. I'm going to say one cinder block.
Yep.
But this is the most like truly upsetting Mortal Kombat character that I've ever encountered.
Yeah, he
Like
I don't like it.
Maybe they didn't bring him back because he's like too evil. Because one of the things about Mortal Kombat is it has a sense of humor, right?
But it's a pretty evil game.
It has a sense of humor.
Sure.
Like the characters are silly, but Drummond's not silly.
He doesn't have skin. I don't know if you can be silly and not have skin. I feel like the two things are mutually exclusive.
I agree.
Okay.
Although, what about that Power Rangers villain?
Zor.
I think it begins with a Z.
Is it like Zorg?
Maybe.
No,
but,
wait.
But
that's the giant head that tells them what to do, right?
But he didn't have this villain.
Right.
Didn't have skin.
Didn't
right?
have skin. No.
And he's kind of silly.
He's kind of silly because he's got like a beer belly, right?
Does he?
He's got like a shape to it.
I think of him as being ripped.
No,
he's all muscle.
He's all muscle, but he's also belly. I will not hear that skinless villain from
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed. There we go.
Yeah, he kind of has a Lord Zed thing going for him.
Okay, all right.
He's like a really like upsetting version of Lord Zed.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like I think Drummond is like he's wet, right? Like if you were to touch touch his non-skin,
yeah,
it would be like gooey.
It's definitely sticky.
Okay. Let's select another character here. The new range is between 1 and 73, and the number is number 43.
Mileena. Mileena.
Mileena is a character that I know very well.
Okay.
She makes her first appearance in Mortal Kombat 2. She is from the Netherrealm. She's one of those. She's the same like race of creature as Baraka. So she's got those big giant teeth. And she fights with sais that she can like throw. She's got a cool teleport move. But she looks like Katana. And in Mortal Kombat 2 is like a palette swap. So like Katana has a blue costume and Mileena is purple. And she keeps her big scary teeth covered for most of the fight. She has a fatality in Mortal Kombat 2 where she like inhales you and then just like expels way more bones, like several rib cages and skulls, after she's done eating you.
Yeah, it looks like you nailed it exactly. Mileena is a long-standing like member of the series and features in a lot of games.
So I knew that.
Uh-huh.
So I still get 5 cinder blocks though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Honestly shocking to me how far we went before we got one of those that I would actually know. All right. Next, between 1 and 72.
Yes.
Number 59.
Shiva.
Mark, you want to take a stab at Shiva? I have a guess based on characters that I know. I think I might be thinking of Shiva, but I would like to hear you take a guess here.
So my guess is that Shiva is kind of a play on Sheba, and so I think Shiva is a female,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Shiva is like a queen-like character, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Has a if nothing else has an air of royalty. Is a little more high class than some of these other Mortal Kombat fighters.
Right. Okay.
But I'm gonna guess that she's not from Earthrealm. That maybe she's from, what is it called? Like the other realm?
So there's the Nether Realm.
But there's also
Outworld.
Outworld. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what. Okay, so I think Shiva's from Outworld, and maybe she can command animals. Is this a thing? And if not, then she has chains. Like chains are her thing.
Okay, either animals or chains.
Yeah.
I think you did pretty good.
Okay.
So she is from Outworld.
No way.
Yeah. She first appears in Mortal Kombat 3. Mark, she has 4 arms. She's one of these Goro people.
She's the Webigale.
This is Webby. Yeah, that's right. She's the Webby. I don't think her powers are animal or chain based.
You don't need them when you have 4 arms. You're
You
just
don't need.
ripping
Yeah, that's
people
right.
apart.
That's right. And those are her fatalities. Frequently, is just like 2 arms hold the body in place while the other arms like pull limbs off or just like smash heads.
I think it's fair to say I got 1 cinder block. I was pretty far off, but I'm pretty impressed that I guessed that she was from
you guessed a
the
female
Outworld.
you said female from Outworld.
Uh-huh.
I think you get 2.
Okay, 2 cinder
I'm going to award
blocks.
you two cinder blocks. Shiva in Mortal Kombat 3 has a weird like teleport move where she like disappears from the screen and then appears in the air above her opponent and just like jumps on them, like just smashes them, which is like, because there's such like a weird like sexist thing with like the way these characters are designed. Just because she's a lady Goro, she's like skinny and hot.
Right,
and, like
right.
Goro is not hot.
Uh-huh.
That's not controversial, right?
I don't think so. No. I
Okay.
think as a podcast, we can stand firm. We just don't find Goro
We don't
hot.
think Goro's hot. But like it's funny that even though she's like clearly small and like skinny, that they're like, no, she's as heavy as Goro though. She just doesn't take up as much space.
What I would like to see with one of these 4-armed characters
Yeah.
is some sort of like helicopter move where they put their forearms. I guess it's hard. They'd have to like bend over because you know what I mean, because their arms are not.
Sure.
They're not like encircling their body. They're 2 sets of arms that are shooting out to the side, so they can't really like spin and turn into a helicopter unless they're bending forward. But I would like to see this.
Or it could be like the Inquisitors in Star Wars, where they can like make their spinning lightsabers like spin around so fast that they can use them like a helicopter.
That would be fun.
But they're doing it with their arms somehow.
Right.
How much of a combat advantage would having another set of arms be? Seems like pretty huge, right?
It does seem like it would be. Yeah, it seems like it'd be really huge.
Because you could be like on the defense and the offense at the same time.
Right.
Plus, you still got legs.
Yep, and apparently you can teleport.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty remarkable stuff. All right, next character between 1 and 71, 47.
Nitara.
Nitara.
I think this is another. And do you know Nitara?
I do not know Nitara.
Okay, tell me if this is sounding true to you, because
I'm seeing woman.
I'm seeing woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing maybe because like Nitara, like nitrate. I'm thinking fire.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like a denizen of the night. I'm thinking she's like a witch or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe it's both. Maybe she's a fire witch.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Fire witch from the Nether Realm?
Earth realm?
Earth Realm.
I think she could be human.
Okay.
Nitara makes sense to me as, although pretty close to like that ARA at the end of it, like feels like the Goro construction, right?
Oh, okay.
So maybe she's from Outworld.
Okay. All right, so female.
Uh-huh.
But you can be maybe not human.
You can be human
be
from
like,
Outworld. Yeah.
Okay. So
One of these guys, Jarek, was a human from Outworld, but he's also a dud. So I don't know if we want to be basing things on known duds.
But I think you're right.
Okay,
Because we don't know. Nitara might be a dud too.
it's fair.
So human-esque female who is a witch from Outworld, and her element is fire.
I like that.
Okay.
And there's got to be some sort of like dark ritual kind of fatality.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Conjuring something, maybe.
Conjuring something, or like just like uttering a spell and like the body like just disintegrates or something.
Oh,
like
sure, yeah.
All right, let's see how we're doing here. Nitara, she's got wings, Mark.
Oh, so she's like a dragon, but she's a woman. She's a female.
She's human-ish.
She's from Outworld.
She
does have wings.
Right.
She's a vampire.
What?
She has to prey on the life of others in order to remain alive.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
She's morally neutral.
I mean, is that ever true of a vampire? What are we talking about? Morally neutral? It's a vampire.
Maybe in the that's I'm assuming maybe in in the world of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
She somehow evil is so evil,
right,
that a vampire
is not that evil.
It can be morally neutral.
Sure, it's like how in Castlevania you're like, Alucard's not that bad,
right? In the grand scheme of things,
right.
You're comparing him to Dracula.
But would we describe? Okay, let's consider an alignment chart right now. Where do we put Alucard?
Well, wouldn't we say that Alucard? I would say, that Alucard is probably
chaotic good.
Good, yeah,
but chaotic though.
Chaotic, yes.
Yeah. And we think that this character is morally neutral. A true neutral?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's like, yes, I am sucking the blood of things in order to survive, but I make up by that for serving at a soup kitchen.
Sure.
Take the good with the bad.
Yeah, well, and they need those people. They need people to work overnight shifts.
They do, yeah.
And vampires famously can't be out during the day. Yeah, okay, all right, I'll buy this. So there's a little bit of like scale balancing that she has to do.
But that means that we were not correct about the fire-based, because it seems like it's all about like consuming her victims.
And that's the her fatalities.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Feast of Blood.
Well, here's one. Break check.
Okay.
She comes up to an opponent, pulls out their intestines, flies into the air with the opponent like dangling from them.
Great.
And then with a powerful kick, launches the opponent downwards, which causes their whole skeleton to come out of their body before it smashes to the ground.
Which sounds painful. I would say that
also not that morally neutral.
No, I would say that's evil. I'd say that's evil.
But again, in the scale of all fatalities, maybe not that bad.
And also sometimes,
what's a nice fatality people have?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point. Unless you're doing a friendship or a babality, I think it's probably all evil. And honestly, when we drill into it, turning your enemy into a baby, pretty evil too. They're gonna have to go to the nursery and get bullied by Angelica, which we know Mark's parents would not approve of.
Be very upset by.
Okay, but I think we got close with the witch. Vampire thing.
Witch, human, female, witch.
Yep.
From
Outworld.
Outworld.
Right.
Is it too much to give ourselves a 4?
Whoa. I think this is vampire is such a big, specific thing.
You're right. 3.
And like we got close to it with like, I think witch is close.
But you're right. 3 cinder blocks.
Okay.
3 cinder blocks.
Great. Now we're going to do between 1 and 70. Oh, actually, I wanted to just check in on this character originally appeared in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. So again, we're starting after the trilogy. And then has a cameo in Mortal Kombat 11 and is returning in Mortal Kombat 1. So is one of these characters that they sort of like rescued from the depths of obscurity to come back in the new game. All right, between 1 and 70, character number 22.
22, Jacqueline Briggs.
Okay. I believe Jacqueline Briggs is starts in Mortal Kombat 9 or 10 and is the daughter of Jax Briggs.
That all makes complete sense.
So she's got to be like a human marine
From Earthrealm.
From Earthrealm. Jax usually has a pair of metal arms because he got his arms ripped off in a previous Mortal Kombat. So I'm going to guess that she has some sort of metal body parts as well.
Okay, she has a like cybernetic augmentation to her body
of some kind, yeah. And not on her face though, because that on face that's a very like Kano thing, right? I'm gonna say that it's like she's got like a forearm cannon or something,
and
I'm gonna say no powers,
but
like,
or do you think
it's
that
maybe one of these characters that like brings a gun to Mortal Kombat? Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that because they have to up the ante from Jax, right?
Sure.
And so do you think that her cybernetic abilities, cybernetic, right? Am I using that term correctly? Her body augmentation.
Yeah.
Her robot parts.
Right.
Do they have some sort of like power? Because,
sure.
cybernetics have evolved so far.
That now they're basically magic.
Yeah.
Maybe, I like this. Maybe it's like something to be used against other machines that it like remote hacks other.
Oh, yes.
So maybe that's what we got going on.
Yes.
So like she's gonna mess up your phone.
And what is
erase all your contacts?
Yeah, I was gonna say what is the human brain if not the greatest computer of all?
Yeah. So she's gonna hack your brain.
And so she like
hack the world.
Yeah. So her like fatality is she like uses her cybernetic abilities to scramble your brain and they like leak out of your ears.
Yeah. I like that. All right, let's read about Jackie Briggs. Okay, so Earthrealm, yes. Female, yes. Human, yes. She does have like a glowing blue hand that looks like it's metal.
She is the daughter of Jackson Briggs.
Yep.
But you were right.
Mm-hmm. Close friend to Cassie Cage, who we shouldn't learn too much about in case she comes up later. Okay. Combat.
She keeps her mechanical powered gauntlets from the previous game. In Mortal Kombat 11, she keeps her mechanical powered gauntlets from the previous game, in which can be customized.
Okay.
But I don't understand what her... Oh, wait, here we go. She uses a pair of electronic gauntlets that greatly enhance her physical strength and can fire plasma energy. Shotgun rounds.
Okay.
You weren't wrong about bringing a gun.
Yep.
Or machine gun rounds and rockets, depending on her variation.
God. Okay, so she doesn't have cybernetics, but like these
bionic. That's what I was searching for.
Bionic.
Go back like a minute and a half, and every time I said cybernetic,
right?
Imagine I was saying bionic. Yeah.
I think we get a 4 on this.
I think this one was pretty close.
I think we got really, really close. Really only messed up on like the power of the augmentations.
Yes, of the bionic.
Yes.
Augmentations.
Couldn't get to bionic either. All right, that's great. Let's check between 1 and 69. Character number 40.
40 is Movado.
Okay, Movado's like a soft drink. He's like a Mexican cola.
Yeah, so Movado, I think, is a human man who, in like from Earthrealm, who is a businessman. Because I think you're on to something with like the soda. So he's a businessman. He was like a salesman in I guess his life, because he's from Earthrealm.
Right.
But he's ripped.
Okay, so we're talking a buff salesman. Is he like door to door?
No, I think he's like an executive.
Okay. All right. Okay.
At a large soda company.
Oh, okay. So does he joins Mortal Kombat because he's like for like Fight Club reasons, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, that's right.
He's bummed out with his like the fact that he grew up and got a job, and like doesn't feel like he's seen or understood, and is like, I just want to feel something,
right? And it's like
destroy something beautiful.
I'm super ripped,
yeah,
but I don't. There's no opportunity in my daily life to show this off.
Okay, does this character have any powers? Or is it just the power of money?
Yeah.
He's just rolling in the power of money. Okay.
I think it might be.
And
so his fatality then...
Right.
would be like burying people in a lot of coins, or like just shooting a lot of coins out of his arms, and
I'm trying.
and, like
Coins
rips
out.
rips,
He's also like a magician.
rips the flesh
Uh-huh.
off of their bodies bit by bit.
What if his fatality is like he pulls out a credit card and like swipes like cuts a wound in someone's chest by like swiping his credit card,
Oh sure.
and then like goes to punch in his like pin and just like
But is like
pokes through
literally
the-
punching.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
like
boom.
literally punching in his pin.
and then he reaches in to pull out his withdrawal of cash in its intestines.
Yes.
I don't think any of this is even close to right, but
Well, he's
let's
from. Okay, I've got.
Okay.
Movado is from Earthrealm and is a male.
okay.
So we got that part right. Let's see.
Pretty buff. I gotta say,
Pretty buff.
pretty buff.
Okay, where's the long black leather trench coat?
Uh-huh. Which, look, I was making Fight Club jokes, but same year, Matrix.
He has no supernatural
1999.
powers or enhancements done to his
Okay,
body.
all right. What else? Powers and abilities.
So I think this is a character that's not in very many games.
Okay.
But his fatality is a kick thrust. So he sticks his hook claws into the ground.
I think we need to break that down. His what?
His hook claws.
Claws. Okay.
So, okay. We got to go back to the appearance because this feels important.
Yeah.
Under his trench coat are grappling hooks used for planting in the ground and striking his opponent.
Okay. So not for grappling.
No.
Okay.
No, it seems like he uses them.
Like to steady himself on the ground?
Yes, because in his fatality, he sticks his hook claws into the ground and stretches himself like far back from his opponent, and then lifts his legs, and as he does, spikes stick out of each of his boots, and his feet hit his opponent. So the claws really are just for leverage.
Yeah.
They're not like deadly claws.
Even though he first appears in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
But I don't get what his deal is.
I don't get what his deal is either. And it's hard to deduce. Okay, so characters know this name. That's not helpful.
So
Name-
Movado is a leading figure within the Red Dragon. What are the Red Dragon? It's a crime syndicate. Okay, so he's like a gangster. He's almost like
Got it.
It seems like it's like Japanese
Yakuza
Yakuza type thing going on.
Okay. I mean, you got Buff right. You got human from Earthrealm. If he's a criminal, if he's like Yakuza, he's probably loaded, right?
Okay. And in some ways a businessman?
Yeah. I mean, it's organized crime is a business.
I'm going to give us a soft 3.
Okay. I thought for sure Movado was going to be like some sort of like Snake Man or something. The name felt too strange to me. All right, now between 1 and 68. Character number 26.
Kano.
Kano. We know Kano. Kano, the criminal. Kano on the run being chased by Sonya Blade and Jackson Briggs. He's Australian. He's got that thing on his face with like a metal plate and a red glowing eye.
Because he is like half cyborg?
I think that's the only bit of him that is cyborg. Is
Okay.
like just on his head. And we read earlier that he has a fatality where a laser shoots out of that thing.
Right. That's
which,
right.
That would be hot because it is not an optic blast. It's a laser.
Yes. Oh, here we go. You knew this character, nailed it completely. I think this is
Right.
another 5 cinder blocks for us. A portion of Kano's face is covered with a metal plate, the result of a disfiguring injury he sustained at the hands of Jax prior to the events of the series.
And look, he plays a big role in the Mortal Kombat movie. He's in Mortal Kombat 1. Like, he's been around from the jump. Kano is a mainstay of the series.
Yep.
Do you have the page up right now? Is he in the current games?
He is in. He's a cameo fighter in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
He was in 11, and he was in X.
Yeah, I feel like if they're making a Mortal Kombat game, they're gonna put Kano in it. All right. Continuing on this track between 1 and 67, fighter number 38.
Liu Kang.
Okay, I mean this is Liu Kang, right?
Yep.
I don't. He's a human. He's a Shaolin monk. He's like the protagonist of the series.
And I would say like lawful good.
Absolutely. To the extent that any of these characters could possibly be lawful good, he is lawful. Look, he's not a vampire. He has skin.
Yeah, he's just like a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. One of these games, it starts off with him being dead. I know, and it's like the darkest timeline. That like, oh no, Liu Kang's dead.
Yeah, because what could be worse in the Mortal Kombat universe?
I mean, I think that's really it. Let's do maybe 2 more of these.
Okay.
Okay. So next is between 1 and 66. Oh, so we give ourselves 5 cinder blocks for test our right on that one. All right. Next is character number 6. Cetrion. This is a dang robot, right?
That was my thought too.
That this is a robot?
Yeah.
Cetrion, a cyborg of some kind. Or like a bug man. I think this is a creature. Be it robotic or this is not the name of a man.
No. I guess the reason I'm thinking, are there bug people in Mortal Kombat?
I think there's a bug person.
Okay. Cetrion could be. There's something about like Cetrion, like very future, like future about it.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what makes me think that perhaps a robot.
Sure. Well, and maybe maybe in that with the pose you struck, like maybe there's a real like Flash Gordon kind of like throwback 60s futurism about this kind of robot guy.
Yes. Which would make him stand out like a sore thumb in Mortal Kombat, but maybe that's kind of like
maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's the joke.
Yeah, maybe that's the joke, is that he's like a cheesy 60s sci-fi hero. And I'm gonna say he brings like a little ray gun to the battle.
And can just like evaporate people.
Yeah.
So their flesh basically burns off of their skeleton, and then their skeleton collapses into a heap.
Right, like in Mars Attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's see how good we were at guessing what Cetrion is. Cetrion.
No.
Oh no.
We
far
off.
Far gone. She is an elder god from the heavens,
which we haven't even brought up yet.
Not considered the heavens as a place someone could be from. She is the sister of fallen elder god Chinook and daughter of the Titaness and keeper of time Chronica. This is a big deal character.
Lots of moves, fatalities. Cetrion conjures water from thin air and performs a small flourish with it before firing the water in a pressurized stream, tearing off the flesh of the opponent's face. She then incinerates the lower half of their body with a plume of fire, and then sends 3 metallic blades through what's left of their body. And then her other fatality is good and evil. Cetrion summons a set of rocks from Earth, crushing her opponent with them before growing to a large size and stomping the victim's head.
I think the only thing that we said that's even close to right is when I said this is not the name of a man. Like, that's the closest we got to being right.
Yeah, I think Cetrion is a solid 1 cinder block for us.
I mean, we've not done this yet, but 0 cinder blocks? Is it possible that on a scale of 1 to 5, we clocked a 0 on this one?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, man. Okay, this will be our last one. Between 1 and 65, we are talking about character number 54. Oh, this is Chinook, a fallen elder god.
Oh, okay. So should we just do...
Yeah, let's do another one.
Should we do another one then?
From the heavens, blah, 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 blah. Okay, between 1 and 64, fighter number 35.
Kung Lao.
This is Kung Lao. I know Kung Lao.
Okay.
Kung Lao is he's a Shaolin monk, so he's part of the whole thing with Liu Kang. He's the dude that has that like wide-brimmed hat with a blade on it.
Uh-huh.
So he can throw that hat at you. He's got a
Okay.
fatality where he cuts you in half the tall way, and then you peel
the
like
hot
a
dog
banana.
way. Yeah. Not cutting him like a hamburger. You're cutting him like a hot dog.
Like a hot dog. That's
Yep.
right. That's right. He's from Earth Realm.
I think we gotta do another one.
Okay, all right.
We gotta find one of these that we don't know to end on. But that's 5 cinder blocks for Kung Lao
yeah,
for sure.
And we just are skipping Chinook. We know he's an elder god, a fallen elder god.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? 5 for Chinook.
Wow. All right. Next on a scale of between 1 and 63, we got 50. Who is Scorpion? We get a 5. We
know
just get a
Scorpion.
5. We know Scorpion. Said we're gonna do 2, and this is like our 7th. Okay. Between 1 and 62, it is character number 15. Frost.
Okay, I think we got a lot to go on here.
I think this is intuitable, right?
Yes.
We can figure out who Frost is.
I think that Frost is male.
I'm gonna say female.
Oh, okay. Oh, do you know what? Yes, I think you're right.
But I think either way totally works.
Yes.
I'm gonna say male or female, a little bit on the androgynous side.
A little bit on the androgynous side. Frost is going to be a sexy character.
Frost is going to be a sexy androgynous character, a very like David Bowie presence. Ice powers,
Ice
obviously.
powers for sure.
Human?
I think human.
Okay. From Earth?
Earth realm.
Earth realm. Okay.
I mean, I think Frost's thing is just a sexy androgynous human from Earth realm with ice powers. And I'm going to guess that Frost is not in very many games.
I'm going to guess that as well. One thing I do want us to contend with here, though, is that Sub-Zero already exists.
Yeah, but I think Frost is like skimpily dressed.
Sure. I would also say that Sub-Zero, cold a lot of the time. Frost, always, like...
ice cold.
Yeah, there's just, like, ambient snow around them all the time.
Yes.
That's going to be my guess.
I think this is good.
Okay, I love this as our final guest. Who is Frost from Mortal Kombat?
Okay, all right. Frost. I wonder, could Frost be related to Sub-Zero? Because
she looks like Sub-Zero.
yes.
But I mean, I'm not wrong on the androgynous
No, not at all.
call here.
No, I mean, you even kind of Frost in the image that I'm looking at has blue hair that is like almost like frozen in some sort of like icicle formation,
Right.
but kind of reminds me of, like David
Joel
Bowie.
McHale. But yeah, otherwise is basically wearing the Sub-Zero costume and is a member of the Lin Kuei.
And
clan,
first
yeah.
appearance was in Deadly Alliance as Sub-Zero's apprentice.
Can I ask, why are there so many Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance characters? We've encountered all of them tonight.
We've encountered a lot. I guess it was a real nexus for the series.
But like, I think it's a nexus for the series. Like, I think it's a place where a lot of like second round characters were generated, because like then they come back in 11 and 1, which is like cool. But that's when they're like, oh, we can't just play the hits anymore. We got to like dig out the weird old characters. We didn't speculate on a fatality for Frost, but ice stuff.
Yeah, it seems like pretty. Imagine what somebody with ice powers would do in Mortal Kombat.
Well, they would freeze you.
There's a lot of, like drilling with ice beams, a lot of freezing you from the inside out. I feel like
4?
4. I think it's
I
four
think
cinder
4
blocks.
I gotta say, I'm most proud of our 4s because if it was a 5, we just knew the character, right? I would have liked Frost to be a little bit more androgynous.
Yeah, I agree.
But otherwise, I think we did a really good job. All right, Mark, let's close this out. do you feel like you know more about Mortal Kombat
Oh,
now
for sure.
than
Yeah,
when we
definitely.
started? Yeah, me too. Are you interested in going to pick up Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance? Because I have so many questions now.
I know. Like, what? I wonder, is that a game that people have, that Mortal Kombat fans have a lot of fondness for because some of these freak characters came out of there?
It could be that people are big fans of the freaks. Like, are any of our listeners, if you are a fan of Draman, right? That's the man who has no skin, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The demon who has no skin. Write in, let us know. Nintendo Cartridge Society
At gmail.com.
That is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Thank you to our 16-bit patrons, Connor McCabe, Patrice Millette, and David Hendley. We appreciate you very much. You can join our Discord. All you got to do is email us. We will send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying, finish him.